All right, everybody. So today we have Paul Zuhone, owner of Butcher Boys.
Rage, money, power, and
How was the day today?
Not bad for me. Not bad.
How about everybody else?
Could have been. Everybody else had a good. It was slow. It's a slow season for us. So
Because of the winter.
yeah. Nobody's grilling in upstate New York. In February. So
Not too many. People always get like surprised because I still grill. I just pull my grill a little closer.
yeah.
To the door?
And I pan sear everything in the winter. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't actually. I shouldn't say I grill. I don't grill in the winter. I smoke meats in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
but when if I need to do a steak, I'll do it in a pan. It's one of my favorite ways to do it actually. It's just.
I think it's better. Well, it sears in the juices.
Yeah, you
'Cause
basically
when you
baste
go
it
to
with
a
a little
restaurant-
compound butter or something. It's a good way to do a steak.
When you go to a restaurant, you don't. They're not grilling your steak.
Yeah,
Generally, right?
generally. I mean, there's like one or two places around here that will grill it, but for the most part, it's on a flat top or something like that. But like a couple of the bigger chains, they'll throw it right on the flat top and they'll sear it, and it's delicious.
So for you, how did
Yep.
you get started at Butcher Boys? Did you start right in the ownership or? what's the
Well,
story
I
for you?
mean, so I helped out a lot over the years. My mother-in-law and father-in-law owned it when I met my wife, and then before that, their parents started it. So my great grandfather-in-law started it. So in the 50s, and they opened as Butcher Boys in 1960. So, but all through the last 25 years or so, I would help out with deer season and like help them deliver and help them cut here and there, help them make
A
Christmas.
bunch of different odds and ends.
Yeah. And then my father-in-law he wanted to retire, so he asked me if I was interested in taking it over, and I said yeah, I jumped at it. So and here I am, and I went right in as an owner.
How many years ago was? How long have you owned it?
About 5 years, maybe 6. I can't quite
Has it
remember.
been that long?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah.
'Cause I remember when you went through the process.
Yeah, and he would. I worked side by side with him for about 2 months, and then he took off. So, and he said, "Good luck, buddy." So, here we are. A lot of trial by fire, a lot of learn as you go, make mistakes to, better yourself and learn
Sure.
from your mistakes. But
So, So, a couple questions about the actual meat and stuff. What do you think for the most misunderstood meat?
oh, geez. I would say.
Like
I mean,
something
there's
that
a
confuses
couple.
people.
Yeah, there's a couple. I would say maybe prime rib. A lot of times when people go out to get prime rib at a restaurant, they say prime, and it's not prime beef. It's
not?
usually a very low grade of beef.
Really?
Yes, so it's usually select or no roll, which is basically not rated. So, but then if you cook it slow enough and low enough, it ends up being good. But like we don't sell that at Butcher Boys. A lot of people, I guess, they'll ask for a prime rib, and we ask them what grade they want for like Christmas roast, and we only sell top third choice and prime beef. So it's sometimes they get some sticker shock because prime beef is a lot more expensive than select beef or no roll beef. So, but we don't sell any of that. So prime rib, anywhere you get it, is almost never prime graded. It's
Okay.
So
That's interesting. I didn't know
it
that.
confuses people sometimes.
Well, yeah, I would have not expected that to be your answer.
Yeah.
So, for the what do you think gives the best value? Like what type of meat? I mean, obviously, pork's cheap and stuff, but obviously it's not as.
Yeah,
stuff,
I mean, if you're gonna choose between steak and pork, I mean, I would like to think you'd want a steak, but a lot of people like pork. I'm not a huge fan.
What cut makes so?
I
If we're
think
talking
you,
about beef,
I think you can make a lot of headway if you get something like a Teres major or a hanger steak or a flat iron steak. they are some of the most tender pieces, or a skirt steak. I mean, they're all very, very tender, and like you want to choose that versus like a filet mignon. Forget about it. It's way, way less expensive and
It's
pretty much just as good. I mean,
How about are they lean? They're lean, pretty lean cuts.
I'm sorry.
Are they lean cuts?
Yeah. You know, like the Teres Majors, pretty much just as lean as as a fillet, but you get, it's a third of the price, and it actually tastes better because there's a little more marble.
Okay.
I describe it as like it's just a muscle that's underutilized in the animal. So you get like a flavor of like a New York strip, but the texture of a filet mignon. And it's way less expensive.
What's the hardest cut to work with?
Probably something along those lines. I mean, Teres Majors aren't so bad, but I would say like a flat iron steak. There's a separation in the middle that is, if you're not used to doing it, you can ruin it, or you can take way too much meat off.
Okay.
It's a game of millimeters in butchering. You got to watch everything you cut and everything you do, because every cent adds up. And if you throw something out that you shouldn't, you're just losing money right there.
So, for somebody like me, and I've been considering this for a while because I eat a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Being in the gym, obviously for people like me, they're
Yeah.
going to eat a lot of meat. Now,
Yeah.
people not like me that like a lot of meat, would be a question for them too. What do you think people like us should do at a butcher shop? Should we buy? Obviously, there's different packages. I would consider buying a whole animal. What do you think would be the best option?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a few options. I guess, buying a bunch of steaks is not your most cost-effective way to do it. But if you were to buy let's say a whole ribeye, and we would cut it for you at no extra cost, and then we'd vacuum seal it, and then you could stock your freezer with it. It's way cheaper to get the whole piece of meat per pound than it is to buy individual steaks,
Maybe
because
that's something we should do on the follow-up. Break some
yeah,
down.
oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's a good idea. But then
I've
when
seen that before.
Yeah, but if we sell steaks, we have to throw a lot of meat into either the garbage or into trim for our burger meat.
Okay.
So then we're wasting a lot that way. So if you buy the whole piece of meat, it's way cheaper for you because we don't have any waste.
Sure.
So all we have to do is charge you a little bit more than what we paid for it as it came in. As it came in, exactly. And then the rest is like all no charge for us. We don't.
Similar margin.
Yeah.
Just different.
Yeah, I mean,
Different way.
you could do, yeah, exactly, similar margin for us, but way cheaper for the customer, and we can, you could do a whole, a half cow or a quarter cow,
Yep.
or we have a bunch of meat packages as well. So
Oh, you do.
yeah, so you can mix and match, you can create your own, and then when you do it like that, and we'll have it all ready for you. It'll all be wrapped and ready to go and labeled, and that's a very cost-effective way to get a bunch of meat to stock the freezer up for the winter, or for the year.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's, if you eat a lot of meat, that's the way to go for sure.
So, how do you choose quality meat? I'm sure you have a lot of different options for who you can get this shit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and there's a bunch of no-nos. We don't deal with a lot of packers because, they'll either put steroids or hormones or inject it with other stuff like that, and we don't sell any of that type of beef. Like if you were to, I don't know, go down to the local grocery store, that's all that kind of beef, so
Yeah, sure.
we don't sell that. Well, I only sell the best, so we are very particular with who we get our beef from, and that's what we stick with because it's the best, and we know it's safe and not tainted,
All right, so we've covered some decent stuff about actually the butcher portion of it. As the owner, we'll get into some other questions because I want to hear what that's like. Because obviously, I have a business of my own. It's a lot different than yours. You got employees, you got different obstacles to overcome.
Yep.
So, what do you think the hardest part is about running your type of business as a butcher shop?
Oh, I mean, I will say it's 10 times harder than any job I ever had, for sure. I mean,
What else? Actually, yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, so it's there's so many variables day to day because we also work with we do wholesale for a lot of local restaurants, and we have to meet their needs as well as the retail side, as well as the customers coming in, and everyone wants something a little bit different. And you'll get a call out of nowhere, saying, from say like 3 different restaurants out of nowhere will call, and it's our pleasure to do it. But then, like it kind of throws a wrench in the works for the way you thought your day was going to go. And between that and pricing, the market is so volatile right now, and the price of beef is so high that you have to watch everything you do and order very carefully and not over order. It just
So okay, I could see that. So with that being said,
yeah.
Local sourcing, is that something you're able to do, or
You
somewhat local?
you
New York State.
you can. I choose not to. There's my beef. I get Western beef, Kansas,
really?
Texas. Yeah, it's just better beef.
And are
And
they grass finished or
they
grain
are
finished?
they are all grass fed. Free range grass fed for 99% of their life, and then for the last couple of months they're fed a straight corn diet.
I've heard that because it definitely it affects the taste of the meat in a different type of way.
For sure,
right?
for sure.
'Cause
Yeah, I mean,
grass fed, grass finished I've had before. And it definitely has more of a gamey kind of venison taste, in my opinion.
exactly, and that's why venison tastes similar to grass-fed beef, because that's all deer eat, is grass for the most part. And if it's grass-fed beef, the fat's a lot. First of all, there's not as much fat content and not as much marbling, so the meat will be tougher and it will be leaner and it won't taste as good.
Sure.
And if there's anything I want to do is I want to put out a quality product and sell quality meat, and
Yeah.
and it's just too inconsistent with like a local farm for me, just because of the reputation and being able to put out the best product. I mean, if I found a local person that could meet those standards, I would be
Sure.
all about
Yeah,
it.
of course.
But it's just too inconsistent.
Yeah. So, what separates a butcher shop? Obviously, butcher boys would be what we're talking about, but a butcher shop versus the grocery store.
Well, I mean, any well-run butcher shop is going to be able to meet, like so someone comes in and said, well, I know you only have a 3-pound, chuck roast, but I want a 4, and we'll cut it right then and there. Or we'll we'll cut them a whole tenderloin into steaks right then and there. And not to mention, we don't put anything into our meat. Our meat is fresh every day. So for example, almost every grocery store, will put fillers in their ground beef, and they'll put dye in their ground beef. There's for some reason, FDA approved dye you can put in the ground meat. So when you open it, it's still red in the middle, which is wrong. If you get some ground beef and you dig in the middle of it and if it's not brown, then that's bad.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
You want it to be brown in the middle because of oxidation. So
Sure. Yeah.
if it's still red in the middle, then you're getting dyes in there, and then there's even like a paint you can put on steaks to make them look more fresh.
That's great.
Yeah, and that, I mean, seriously, and a lot of people just look at price, or there's certain places you can't even get ground beef that's gluten free because they'll put bread
Interesting.
in their ground beef to fill it, so they can make more money on it. And that's all our ground beef is only from what we cut out of prime beef and choice grade beef every day. That's what you get from us. So there's no additives, there's no preservatives, there's no fillers. It's just meat.
Yeah. So for you,
Yeah.
your day is going to change day to day. But what's a day in the life look like for you?
Well, I usually get there pretty early in the morning.
What time?
Anywhere, probably on average about 5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, on average.
I mean, not every day, but.
Yeah, on average, sometimes earlier, sometimes later, but it depends on what's going
And
on.
what do you start doing at 5 a.m.?
Well, I have to get the wholesale orders ready. I have to
So this is book work.
do the bank work for the night before.
Sure.
I have to get a game plan for the day. I have to see what we need to make, and if we need, how much sausage do we need? How much do we need to make hamburger patties? Do we need, do we need to make meatloaf mix?
Sure.
There's a lot to
So
look at.
inventory.
Yeah,
in
I
a
mean,
way,
you
like-
got, basically I'm there early to get like a game plan for the day, and you know, and like look at emails that you know, make sure I'm not the best at emails, for sure.
Nobody
You
is.
know, like I mean,
Everybody gets falls behind.
a lot of people think that I'm just, you know, it's all about being behind a desk, and that's not the case. You know, it's running around and putting out fires and
Yeah.
you know, fixing problems
Well,
pretty much all day.
I've been there. Not like we're gonna be, but I've been in there. It's a big place.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
you in there alone at 5 a.m. has got to be a pretty interesting place to
yeah, I mean,
run around.
yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, most of that time is, you know, just going through some of the inventory and seeing, you know what.
What's needed for the day?
Yeah, exactly.
What the crew's gonna do?
Exactly.
The
You know,
assignments.
exactly, because you know it's, you know, staying efficient and having, you know, something for everyone to do. So
Well, you're kind of like the quarterback
yeah,
of the business.
sure,
You know,
sure.
obviously, a lot of business owners are, but the quarterback still gets dirty.
yes.
You know, so
exactly.
you're not just doing the
Yeah.
owner of the football team's job. You're doing You're the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, it's
got a
like a
little
mix
bit of
between
every-
it's like a mix between the owner, the coach, and the quarterback. You know,
Exactly,
something like
sure.
that. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all those every day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's you know, there's a lot of juggling. You know, but
So what's
never a dull moment.
sure? Right, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, I hear you coming here, different stories.
Yeah.
That's all I hear is stories, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
It's been interesting to hear some of yours. So as an owner, what's the biggest thing you think you've learned owning the business?
Well, for certain, I thought it was going to be a lot easier. You know, and I thought I was going to make a lot of money. You know, based on, you know, just my father-in-law, and
Yeah.
you know, but there was a different time when he was there. You know, it was the economy. You know, he was there for 50 years, and you know, right now it's unprecedented times right now. There's
Because of the cost.
the cost of everything, you know, like labor's going through the roof, and I can't offset
Well,
it
that too,
enough.
yeah,
You know, I
sure.
can't offset it. I mean, like, you know, the utilities are up, the labor's up, the everything is up. You know,
Yep.
whatever I buy is way more expensive than it was a year ago. I mean, like 50% higher. You know, and
Really?
yeah.
That much now?
Yeah, I mean, when I started,
'Cause it's been going up for a couple years.
yeah, but I mean, now it's really
it's-
jumping. You know, and
Well, that would make sense because I guess I don't pay attention to it as much as I used to because it's just part of my cost.
yeah,
But
right,
your cost running a business is different than my cost consuming.
right.
It makes a bigger difference to you than it might for me.
Right. I
my
mean, that's
point.
everything. That's, you know, that's everything. You know, that's if I can't, you know, even the cheap meat right now is way
The
more.
what? Oh, the cheap
Like,
meat.
you know, the
Yeah.
cheap cuts that you used to be able to get, like a chuck roast. I mean, when I started there, we were selling chuck roast for $8.99 a pound. Now they're $14.99.
And what is that? Because I mean, before there was like some supply shortages during COVID, and after COVID, fine.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
this is
they-
6 years later. What do you think?
What I think is that they're coming up with excuses and
And they're
just
able to do it just
getting-
like the housing market. In a
Yeah,
way.
we don't
It's
have a
just stuck
choice.
like
We don't
that.
have a choice, and
Sure.
they come up with whatever, you know, excuse they want. Oh, there's not enough. You know, they're not. You know, there's not enough cattle out there, so they don't want to breed because they're worried about getting stuck with them. Even though the market, as far as purchasing, is not slowed down. So they're saying, you know, now the demand is higher because they have less of a supply. So, you know, they that's what they say. I don't buy it. I mean, I just don't buy it because it's the same with everything across the board. There'll be a pork hike. There'll be a chicken hike. There'll be a. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, it's consistent with all of your costs.
Right, you're right. I mean, and there's just like a whole slew of reasons that they're trying to excuse that. It just, you know, I think they're all full of baloney.
Yeah.
You know. So
So, what? Like another question I always wondered: what's a knife you think everybody should own at home? A type of knife.
oh, I mean,
If you had to narrow it down to one, maybe two.
yeah, I would say two. I think you need a nice long, like serrated knife, and then you know, it's got to be a long one. Just, you know, there's different things you're going to come across. Even when you're making a salad, you know, some of the chef knives are not long enough. But you know, but I also think probably like a chef's knife.
A chef's knife, and what does that look like?
It could look couple different ways. You can, you know, they have the grooves ones that are flat, or you know, just like Gordon Ramsay uses a chef knife. You know, I mean, we pretty much use boning knives, but
To break the.
yeah, to get joints and stuff like that in the meat. You know, and you don't have to. You know, you don't have to use one of those. I think the two best is like a nice, chef's knife, not one of the things on, online, those like silly Damascus steel things that they're trying to sell really cheaply.
You know, and you know what? They always look so attractive.
They
right?
look cool, but
They look great.
One of those
That's what I
brands,
have,
one of the
like, in
brands
here.
they sold a ton of, they just found there's lead in it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so
Well,
I mean,
they're probably cheaply made.
they are cheaply made.
They look
so,
great.
Yeah.
They look sexy. They look great. But
It's one of the things that you get what you pay for. If you're willing to
Yeah.
spend a couple bucks on a knife, I mean, if you're willing to spend $100 on a nice knife, then you'll be okay. But I'd say chef's knife and a nice serrated knife because it works well for bread, and anything really. A roast, if you want to do a roast, or you can cut steak, after it's cooked. It's a lot of reasons to have both those.
So for somebody entering the trade,
Yeah.
not ownership. Well, I mean, we can cover that too. Entering the trade of butchering, what would some of your advice be for that to start?
Don't do it.
Okay,
But
that's good advice.
I mean, I guess it's like you really have to be the kind of person that's very detail oriented and also willing to, you have to work some hours. You have to put your best foot forward and try to cut everything as responsibly as you can. It's a game of pennies. The butcher shop.
It's a grind.
It's a grind, and you have to be detailed.
The food
and you,
industry
and
is
you have to be
always-
dedicated, and that's, it's not like the hardest thing ever to do. I mean, it's fun, but the guys that come in and do the same thing every morning, day after day, it gets old,
Yeah.
and you have to just stay committed and dedicated. And you can make decent money as a butcher, but
you got to love it.
you have to love it.
You have
And
to love
and you have,
taking care of meat and the grind.
yeah, and you have to take pride in what you do for sure.
And I think that could be consistent with most, from what I hear, in the chair. I've never been in the food industry, but
Yeah,
the food industry in general, overall, is very similar, where you need to be able to grind,
for sure, absolutely.
deal with clientele that's unhappy, whether it's a restaurant or you're doing the back end with a supply like you are.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
You got to be able to keep your mouth shut somewhat and just perform.
Exactly.
What are you most proud of as an owner?
I would say I'm most proud. I don't know. I guess our customer service more than anything.
All right.
I mean, I think that's a dying. It is. It's not. I don't think it is. It is. No one cares about customer service. No one takes pride about taking care of the people that walk through the door, and that's what we're all about. And anything we can do to make someone's day better
Sure.
or help them out, that's what we do.
Awesome.
And with no complaint.
Before I forget, how about going into ownership? What would you give somebody? Maybe this is ownership, not just of a butcher shop, ownership of business and managing people.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of there's a long answer there, I think, but what I would probably say more than anything is, as far as managing people is understand who you're managing. Each person is different, and
Sure, just like kids are.
right, and there's not a like black and white way to manage people. It's you got to understand their personality, how to get to them, and how they're going to respond to you. So I think a lot of it is about knowing just know who you have. And
Almost knowing your audience.
yeah, exactly, 100%.
Who you're speaking to, who you're dealing with, who
Yeah,
you're working with.
and treat them, and then if you treat them with respect, they're going to treat you with the same respect.
And it's pretty much advice of life, right?
Yeah, I mean do unto others. Similar aspect, but I think you get a lot more out of your employees when you treat them correctly.
Yeah.
We always strive to whatever anybody needs. We're like a big family, but we try to do whatever everybody. If anyone needs anything, we try to be there for them. So
And probably patience.
patience is huge. Doesn't always work out, but we all have our moments. But
Balance.
patience is very important. And then it's dedication. It's doing the things you don't want to do every day, and making sure you do them. And I'll be honest, I'm not always that.
Sure.
We all have days where it's just I can't.
Well,
do
you're
this.
human.
Yeah, I mean, can't do this today. I can't do that today. And then I have things that interrupt all that too. With certain calls or I have to drop something and put out a fire or whatever.
Yeah.
So you know, and then a certain point of the day, you're just done. You know, so
Yeah,
you have to do it in the morning, or else you're not going to do it right. You know.
I mean, that's how I see my life. And as an owner, you got to ramp that up even higher. That's even, that much more challenging.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so you are, you know, you're doing this every day, day in, day out. You know, I'm sure there's some days like you want nothing to do with a pair of scissors or clippers. You know what I mean?
Actually, I will tell you what. Very rarely, unless I'm sick, but I don't have the management of people. And from what I hear, I don't care if it's white collar, blue collar, managing people is challenging. So it's a grind.
Yeah, no, it is.
And you're the leader. People look to you.
Yeah,
And
you
you're doing
know,
a good job.
and it always comes down on me, regardless.
Sure.
You know, so and that's.
Well, it looks like you're doing a good job.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm trying. You know, I'm trying, but it's not
You
easy
try
out
most
there.
days.
Well, I try every day.
Just
I mean, I try every day for at least an hour,
yeah,
and then sometimes I just give up.
yeah, I bet.
Just put my tail between my legs and run.
Yeah, I don't blame it. At a certain point,
I
you gotta
mean,
do that.
yeah, it's not going to be good for anyone if I stay there certain days. You know.
Sure,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Well, sometimes, you just gotta either be quiet or walk away from things.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn that over my life.
Yeah,
Walking away or being quiet and restarting.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you got to Kenny Rogers it once in a while. You got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him.
Yeah.
You know, it's just how it is.
So what's next for you? You or the business? What do you think? Some upcoming things, some new growth, something maybe you can talk about, maybe you can't talk about. What do you think's next?
Yeah, well, right now we're getting our grocery liquor license, so we're going to start selling beer and wine.
Oh, that's a one-stop shop, right?
Yeah, yeah, and you know that's top priority is to get that up and running by springtime. So when people are getting their speedies or their steaks or whatever, they can grab a glass of wine or a bottle of wine or a 6-pack or whatever, and then
That's great. Because you guys have a bunch of stuff in there. You
Yeah,
got
we
eggs in
also-
there, you got milk, all sorts of supplies.
Yeah.
Not just meat.
right,
So
and
if
we
you
have a
liquor,
bunch of like imported Italian products. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff.
Did you
We
say
have
because I'm
groceries.
Italian or what?
No, but there's a lot of Italians here. you
No, I
know.
know, true.
Yeah.
I know.
So,
So you can come there and get everything. It's almost you almost have a small grocery store, like the old days, in a way.
yeah,
Right? Where
yeah.
it's like now things are going away from like the small shops that have a little bit of everything,
yep.
and you guys are basically kind of running that back.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, I feel
That's
like that's,
authentic.
you know, yeah, exactly. I feel like we need
trustworthy.
more of that back.
It's trustworthy. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, we need that. Well,
Well, it's great that you're able to do it.
Yeah,
it's cool to see. I'm
yeah.
all about it. Authentic.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, like customer service and, you know, mom and pop, whatever you want to say. But, you know, we buy local as a rule. You know, we'll generally only go to restaurants of, you know, customers that we supply. Just because, you know, we give back, we trade up, you know, and they're all local.
Yeah.
You know, we don't sell to any big chains. You know, so it's all, you know, one hand washes the others, you know.
You want some gel?
Yeah,
stuff.
please, yeah.
This-
I got a hot date tonight, so.
Yeah, I figured. It's not me either.
Well,
This statement stuff's fantastic. When I switched to this.
yeah, that conditioner and that shampoo.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. Yep.
That's right. So the end of this week, what do you got going on? In general, not even just.
Well, going to San Diego with my son.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's right, that's right. You told me that a couple weeks ago.
Yep. So we're leaving, Monday for San Diego for a week, and just gonna have a little fun.
So you're not coming next week. I got to cancel your haircut.
Correct. Yep. Yep. So I will try to remember to let you know about that.
That's right. You weekly guys, I usually try to remember.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, and yeah,
That'll be a
that's-
good time.
Yeah. So we got to finish out this week and hopefully finish strong, and you know, Valentine's Day was a good holiday for us this year, so
Yeah, I bet.
that helped. But you know, just try to make it through until
This heart shaped
until March. You know, that's when it starts picking up again for us.
March, yeah.
Yeah, mid-March. You know, definitely Easter's definitely a big kickoff for us. Most years, start getting some nicer days, and people start firing up the grill.
You get that spring fever.
Yep.
There's nothing like that.
Oh,
that
that's a
feeling.
great feeling.
It's like
Yeah.
it's euphoric.
Yeah, that's when everyone's driving at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, on the first sunny
there's
day.
something about the sun that makes you want to.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so exciting, right?
Yeah. So if you or somebody you know has an interesting job, click the intake form link in my bio. Maybe you'll be featured on a future episode. If you stick around, you're going to see a day in the life of Paul at Butcher Boys in just a minute. Real conversations, real professions, one chair. Thanks for listening. All right, everybody, so today we're at Butcher Boys. Let's see what it's like to be a butcher for a day. Paul,
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
What's going on?
Not
How
much.
you doing?
Good to
Let's see
see
what it's
you.
like to be Paul today.
All right, thanks
All
for
right.
coming in. I'll show you a
Absolutely.
couple things.
All right.
Follow me. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot more than I'm going to show you right now, but
All
this will
right.
give you a little taste.
Cool.
You suit up, cutting up a
Is this
ribeye or
small
something.
large?
That's extra small for you. All right, buddy. I got my gloves on. I'm going to hand you a pair here, and then we're going to start with one of our prime ribeyes and kind of show you how we break that down and how we cut that into some steaks.
Okay, so you start with this, and then you break it down, and that's what we get at the store. Ribeye starts out like this.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't get a lot of the whole cows in anymore, the
Yep.
hanging beef like we used to. It just is not as cost effective as it used to be. It's a lot easier to get these. This is called a Primal cut.
Okay.
So, you know, it comes just as this right now, and we basically want to start with getting all the stuff you don't want on the meat. So there's
Which is that fat cap?
there's a fat cap here. It's like a membrane, and all we really want to do is peel this away because it's very tough, and people don't, want to chew tough meat, especially from Butcher Boys. So we're just gonna pull this down and get rid of this. It's almost like a silver skin.
I was gonna say silver's kind of deal.
Yeah. Yep. And then we'll just trim that.
Is it as hard?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to the.
So it's the same, pretty much.
It's very
Well, it's not,
yeah. It's
maybe
very
not as tough.
yeah. It's not. Yeah,
close, though.
it's really not fun to go to bite into. That's for sure. And then I like to flip mine over, and right here in this section, this was where the ribs are removed, and this will leave some tough sections on there as well. So I like to trim that off. And then, butchering, that's the main thing, is taking off only what you need to, because every cent counts, especially when you're cutting meat. Because
Sure.
I paid for this whole piece of meat, so, the less I cut off, the better. But you still want to be able to, leave the good stuff on for your
Yeah.
customers, you know what I mean?
They don't want to see that, and you don't want to waste stuff.
Yep. And these are also fingers where the ribs are removed.
Oh.
I will remove these.
Uh-huh.
And this is really good for trim
I was gonna say, yeah.
for our burger
Yeah.
meat. So we'll just bring those down like that. And then the other thing is, this is very oblong,
Yep.
so I can't cut
Sure.
all this off
Yep.
and have it be profitable. So I try to square it up a little bit.
To be presentable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just try to square it up a little bit.
Yeah,
And then you can have a square cut to trim off
Sure.
the beginning part of it. If you see this, can you tell what that looks like? What kind of steak that looks like there? It doesn't really look like a ribeye.
Sure. Yeah. I get you. Yeah.
Does that remind you of any
Oh, yeah.
other steak?
No.
It's it's a strip. So
Well,
like this is
I kind of did a little bit, but then I was like, "Wait, we're
Yeah.
cutting ribeye though. So how would it be a strip if we're cutting ribeye?"
because this piece of
this
meat
side?
is this side of this is the loin end, or some people say the Delmonico end.
Okay.
And that is where, so this ribeye is right in between the New York strip and then the chuck.
Oh.
So you would get like your chuck roast from over here, and you get your New York strip from over here.
Well, because when I was looking at it, I didn't see much marbling. I know
Yeah.
ribeye's more marbled.
Right, that's the leaner cut.
Okay.
So some people prefer that leaner section of the ribeye.
Sure.
Without the big eye in it. And I personally prefer the chuck end. It's just
So there's different types of ribeyes, in a way.
in a way, yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay,
why
no.
some people will say give me a Delmonico, which
Sure.
is going to be this side.
Oh, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then when you see that big eye of
Yeah,
fat
yeah,
in the
yeah.
middle,
Yeah.
that's more of your actual
This side.
ribeye or the chuck end.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. So then what I'll do here is just kind of square this off. And then we'll save that for trim. Some of that we could actually put into speedy meat. And then butcher cut is a lot different than, like a chef's cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's more shoulder based and it's more direct. So you want to,
Okay.
get it down through all the way, and you don't want a lot of saw. You don't want really any
Sure,
sawing
yeah.
because then it's going to end up,
Looking like that.
yeah, it's going to end up looking like,
that looks like a ribeye.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be a ribeye. And I would trim this up a little bit to make it, nicer, get some of the extra fat off from this point. But I'd like to see if you can try to cut one of those.
Okay. So about an inch.
So you're looking about an inch, inch and a quarter.
Right about here.
Yep. And just, yep. And we can just try to pull straight back now.
More.
There you go. You
Good?
got it. Yep, good. Nice. He's got it. You could be you're hired.
That's a part-time butcher.
Yeah, part-time.
All right.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
I mean, that's basically it. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can see
That was
this is the
satisfying.
prime beef. So, you get all that nice marbling and, it's just, that's, as far as I'm concerned, the best steak there is.
Do you sell just?
Yes, and
You
we
do.
can sell the whole primal, the whole loin, and it's a lot cheaper. So you can get a lot of steaks.
So people could do this on their own.
Yeah, or we'll cut it up for free.
Sure. Okay.
If they
Yeah.
buy the whole loin, we'll cut it and vacuum seal it, and they can put it right in the freezer. So either way,
It's good to know.
yeah, it's like if you want to stock up the freezer, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah. Well, I learned something again.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I'm here for.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, now we're going to move on and show you how we make our Italian sausage here. Basically, what we do is we start with a pork butt or Boston butt, or there's tons of names for it, but basically it's a pork butt. There's a bone in it we have to remove. Obviously, you don't want pretty sure you don't want your bone going through the grinder. That's not a good thing.
No.
So
Not that
I have my knives already washed and sanitized, and then you'll see this is like a shoulder bone here. So it goes right through the corner of this animal.
Yep.
So you just want to use the tip of your knife whenever you're deboning anything. And then I actually start with the bottom.
That's the same one you should be able to pull out when you smoke meat.
Correct, yeah. So, if you're going to smoke a pork butt, this doesn't make boneless or bone in. I would always recommend a bone in because if you
Yeah.
smoke it right, it's going to pop right out of there.
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
Yes.
That's how you know you did it right.
Exactly, 100%.
When I know I did it wrong, it's sticking in.
Yeah. Actually, a friend of mine actually got one of these, and he said, "What is this you gave me?" I said, "It's a pork butt." And he said, "Well, what's this thing?" I said, "That's the bone of a pork butt." So anyway, so
What a question.
yeah, expert. You know who you are. So, so this is kind of once you do this a few times, you can get the bone out nice and cleanly.
Yeah.
And then this you could either save for, we'll save these and we'll freeze them. You can use them for stocks and soups and that kind of thing,
Sure.
right? And then
Dog?
No,
Not really that.
no, because pork's not really good for a dog because it's too brittle. So you want like a nice beef bone or a nice marrow bone, femur bone.
What you guys have?
We do have,
Yeah.
yep, and we sell a lot of dog bones that way, and we do smoked ones as well. So basically from here, all we're gonna really do is dice this up,
Okay.
and then we're gonna make our sausage with it. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Now we'll we have that pork that we just boned out.
Okay.
We have it all diced up, ready to go into the sausage grinder. I have our pre-made Italian sausage seasoning right here, so I'm gonna have you mix this up. So just take it and spread it out nice and evenly.
How's my technique here?
Great, love it, love it, crushing it.
Fantastic.
Yep. All right, now dump the stuff on there. Come on, let's just. There you go.
I want to make sure it's nice.
No, it's beautiful. It's
Okay.
beautiful. Now just get in there. Try to
Yeah.
get every section. Try not to leave any seasoning on the actual grinder itself. And you can mash it right down into that. There you go. Nice. All right, that looks pretty good there.
Good.
Now the first thing you want to do, you don't want to run a grinder dry.
Okay.
So before we turn this on, just bring that, put a few pieces of pork right into the hopper there.
In?
Yep, right down in there. Yep.
More?
Yeah, that's fine right there. Yep. And then
Okay.
now we can turn it on. And the only thing you have to watch out for is where it comes out. It can kind
Okay.
of spit, but I'll hold this for you. I'll make sure it doesn't, because it could like go out and hit the wall sometimes. So just if you crank that on and just keep some of that sausage going.
Do we need to put the water on?
No, just turn it on first.
Okay.
Yep. And then it'll start coming out, and it'll keep it funneling down. Oh,
Am I holding it on or what?
yep, there you go. You might need to give it a little push. Not the best idea to put your hand in there. That's it, but see, I told you. Oh, spitting and sputtering. And then so here, the only other thing is to get the least amount of waste. We're going to put some of this back in,
Okay.
because there's some, because there's nothing pushing that out now. There's going to be some chunks of pork still in there.
Got it.
So now that this can push all those hard chunks out, and then everything that's in there now will be nice and ground.
Doesn't seem as unhappy now.
Right, yeah, exactly. Always a second grind on anything, whether you're doing burger, it's always a lot more tender. All right, so now that we got the pork butt ground with the seasoning,
Okay.
we got to take that pork butt we just ground and put it back up here,
All right.
because we're going to add some water to it. So
Dump
just
it in.
dump that right on
Okay.
the tray. Just give it a nice hard dump. There you go. And then actually, yep, scrape as much out of there as you can. We don't want any waste. And then you can
Good.
put that bucket right back down where it was. And I
Okay.
actually have some filtered water measured
Okay.
out here. So you're going to dump that right on top.
You want me to spread it
and
like last time?
mash it all in.
Okay.
Yep, good. And then just mash it all in. So get your hands right in
Yeah,
there,
yep.
okay? Use those muscles.
Which muscles? I don't know.
It's going to
Keep
form like
spreading. It's annoying me. Keep spreading away from me.
yeah,
grip on
yeah,
it.
yep, you got it though. Yep. So just as long as it's going to form like a more
Gotta fold.
homogeneous kind of mixture like that. Yeah, see how it's
Fold
kind
it
of
in.
turning into one, it's almost like doing dough.
Yeah, I was gonna say fold it in,
Yeah.
like my nonna says.
Yep. It's just like doing pizza dough. You Italians know about that,
I was
right?
thinking more cookies. I've actually done this.
Yeah,
one.
that looks good right there. Perfect.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
So then now this is ready to be cased. So we'll get this kind of prepped up like this. We try to get every little piece that we can. And then I'll show you how to get the casing on the horn.
Okay.
And then we'll run that through.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, so now that we have that ready to go in the casing, we have to use some of our all-natural hog casing. And we don't use anything synthetic. It's all the old way that we do it. But it's not going to go on that sausage horn without a little water in it.
Okay.
So you have to kind of open it up. And I just use filtered water again. And you just kind of got to get that a little,
little finesse.
Yeah, exactly. That's not my middle name, but then you want to get some water in the casing like that.
It looks like one of those balloon animal things.
I'll make one for you later if you want. I mean, I'm not bad at it. I was training to be a clown. So actually, I did miss a step. There's going to be air in this,
Okay.
unless we put some of this in
Got it.
and like run a little bit through. So, so if you want to just do a quick on and off on the machine, just on off, off. Yep. And then it's going to come out of here a little bit. And now we won't have any air in the casings
Got
when we case it.
Okay.
All right, so then we're going to thread it onto the horn. All right, so now we have our casing, and we're going to put it on this horn. Then that's going to allow the sausage to, get into that link ready form or coil ready. This can sometimes be a challenge, depending on the casing, because they're not all, each pig is not made the same. You know what I mean?
Sure
So,
do. That looks great.
and gloves are not the easiest for this part, but there's always a joke. There's always a joke when someone's doing this, but
It's got to be done.
it's got to happen. What are you going to do? I mean, there are other ways to do it. You could have a sausage stuffer,
Okay.
but we go through so much of it that like a sausage stuffer doesn't make a lot of sense for us. So there was a hole in that casing, so I'm just going to grab my knife and cut that off because it's going to bust out of the casing.
Okay. Yep.
All right, now that's ready for sausage.
Okay.
So I don't know. Do you want to try it? Or do you
Yeah.
want- All right, I'll start it for a second, and then I'll let you try it.
Wait. What am I doing actually?
So you're going to stand right where I am.
Yep.
So I'm putting a little more sausage into here.
Okay.
I'm going to start it, and then I'll show you how it's done.
Yeah.
And then you can finish,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
So you want to hold the end of this, but you won't have to after I'm done.
Yep.
And just kind of guide it with your hand. It's going to come
Guide
out
it down
naturally.
into the bucket.
Yeah, it'll go right in there. See how that's just coming out like that?
All right. Yeah.
The only thing is to keep the casing moving forward so it doesn't get stuck.
Okay.
But now that you're good, so just keep your
Okay, yep.
2 fingers here,
Yep.
and I'll start it back up for you, okay?
Okay. Yep.
Yep, you got it. Yep. And we had a little overflow because of that casing, but that's basically all there is to it.
Cool.
And then we can link it up right from here. All right.
Beautiful.
All right. So now we have this in the rope. Now all we have to do is you know, I've been doing it so long that I just can do it by eye, but then you're gonna twist a little bit. See how I skipped one and I went to the middle?
Yep.
Because otherwise it'll untie the one before, and then you just do that the whole time. And
Okay.
see that bust out? That's
Yep.
not good. So
Probably my technique.
that's
there.
gonna be,
Probably not gonna sell any of these ones from my sake.
I'll just say it's Rob's sausage.
You can sell it to me.
I'll sell it at a discount because Rob did it. And when it's really tight like this, you almost have to do it this way, all right?
Yep.
But then now you have some links going.
Yep.
And then again, like that. And then
Pinch,
this
twist.
is pinch and, yep, come on.
Like jump rope.
Yeah, exactly, like that. Now we got some links of sausage, just like that.
Okay. Pinch. Pinch.
Well,
Right?
no, you got to skip one though.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. That way it'll keep the.
One.
There you go, just like that. Yep. Yep. There you go. Perfect.
Two.
Good. Pinch and twist. Pinch and twist. It's like aerobics, man. You
Good.
Remember that? Step aerobics. You
I
got it.
do not know.
There
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
I
There
get
you
you. I
go.
get
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's it. That's all there is to it. And then we just got to cut them after, and I mean, I don't know what you're doing with that one. I don't know who you're trying to impress with that one, but
Oh, yeah, that's done.
blowout.
I'll take this one home.
Yeah, there
All
you go.
right,
You
cool.
can have that one.
Beautiful.
All right, so that's that.
Besides that one.
So
All
a
right.
little taste, just a little taste for you
Good
today.
deal.
All right,
Thanks.
you got it, buddy. Thank you.
Good times. There it is.
Mic drop.
Paul, it's good to see you on the other side of the chair. Great time today.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
for those of you who don't know, stop in at Butcher Boys. If you haven't been here, great owner, great team, great meat. If you liked what you saw today, please like and comment and subscribe.
Rage, money, power, and